Hey guys, it's Alvin Taveras and we're here in beautiful Inverness, Florida. We're here actually looking at one of the properties that I'm about to acquire. I'm going to share with you the reasons why we bought it. We're going to be joining my family as we explore for the first time together. We're closing in 2 weeks, so we're doing the final inspection today. Come join us and enjoy the ride.
Welcome to Florida Inverness. So let's go check it out. Come on, we're here.
Yay!
Sweetness.
So, hey, Papa,
Yes, Alisa.
how do you sell houses?
Alisa, that's a great question. The easy way of saying that is I do the same things for the people I help that I do for myself. So I'm an active investor. I believe in real estate. I'm always looking at the best opportunities that they are for investors for my own investments. And then what I do is I pass on that knowledge to my investors. So I'm always looking at what types of properties do best in which area. I'm always exploring the areas that I serve to make sure that I can gather the best investments for them. And I front load a lot of the work. So I proactively work with the builders, proactively work with the property management team. I scout the areas myself. I look at the demographic data. And if I put together a pro forma and I negotiate a deal ahead of time that we can do at scale, then that's what I offer my investors. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to just, go to the MLS and send them everything that's available. I'm going to do the homework first. And I'm doing the homework first because I'm an investor and I care about the deal. And I'm going to help them do the same thing that I'm doing for myself.
Babes, is it better to invest in something that's close to home or something that is further away but has saving benefits?
So it'd always be ideal to invest close to where you are. But a lot of people aren't in investable markets. So, and a lot of times the areas that have the best investment opportunities aren't the places you want to live in. So we have a lot of clients from California, Illinois, New York, New Jersey that like living in those markets, but those are horrible places to invest in. So for those, you're not going to invest where you live. You're going to look at the best opportunities. For us, we started investing closer to where we lived. And then as we kind of got more comfortable with property management, and so we have properties that are like right next to our house that we don't even go down the streets. We don't actively want to know what's happening with the properties because we get paid every single month, and that's the main goal of investing there. Once you start getting overly involved in the deal, well, then you're kind of eroding one of the best benefits that real estate has to offer, is that it can be more passive. So this property in Inverness, Florida, is about 3-hour drive away, which if something absolutely needed to happen, we would call the property management team anyway. But if something even farther beyond that, I don't know what that would be, then it's still somewhat of a drive for us to get there. But realistically, we're not going to see this property but for every 3 years or so. Our goal is not to be an active investor. We like the passivity. So the key opportunity for us is where can we get the best cash flow? Where is there a market where in Florida where there's been a lot of overdevelopment that we're not in those markets that are going to experience the downturn, it's going to be a little bit more resilient. And so when we viewed the entire country, Inverness, Florida would win whether we lived next door or we lived in another state. Either way, Inverness, and these duplex particularly, is the best property given our needs.
Sweetness.
So we're here.
Yay!
Yay! Where are we?
I forgot where we are.
And the Inverness duplex.
And the Inverness Duplex.
Yay! Now you're wide awake and ready to go. All right, let's go. Now let's look at the inside of the home. One of the things that's very obvious is the layout. Very open design. As soon as you walk in, you see the kitchen, you see the openness. You can easily imagine yourself putting your TV over here, your living room set over here. The bedrooms are spacious, very high ceilings. Bathrooms are nice with a nice tiled shower. And overall feels very comfortable. Again, the key here is we're looking for functional housing. So this is 2-2, rents are about $1,400. It's affordable for most, especially with two incomes. So highly affordable, highly functional space here with all the bells and whistles you expect to see in a new construction home, just in a rental rate that's affordable to a lot more people. So the key here is we're investing for functionality. This house has it in droves, and so that's what makes it a great investment, a great layout overall. Hey, we're here in the studio, and I wanted to share a couple of things about the property and why we picked this property. One of the things is the address. So as you can tell, it's in a very mature neighborhood, a lot of mature trees. There's a sense of stability that you see throughout this area. And if you drive around, you'll see that there's kids with their basketball hoops up. There's neighbors outside checking their mail. It's an actively lived in place that people who move there are looking to go to Little League Baseball. They're looking to establish roots there. And it's a very mature, already built up neighborhood, which is one of the best reasons why we decided to invest in a mature community like Inverness.
What are you guys doing there?
Are you ready to go?
So how does the square footage of the property affect the deal? Like how well the deal does?
Yeah, it's a good question. And there's two things you want to take a look at. The first is the price per square foot is a very important number to figure out what the value is of the home. And if you think about like in 15, 20 years from now, if the whole house has to be gut, you might change the floors, you might change the countertop, you might change the lighting, but you're not going to really change the square foot. So that definitely determines whether you got a good value or not. But it doesn't mean you got a good investment, because the renter does not care about the rent per square foot. What they actually care more about is functionality. So if you think about like going into Zillow and you plug in your numbers, you're going to plug in how many bedrooms you need, how many baths, and then your rental rate. You're not going to plug in square foot. You're not going to plug in all these other ancillary potential benefits. You're going to care a lot more about the functionality of the home. So it's a common mistake to get a property that's too big, that you think people are going to pay a premium for it, and they actually don't want to pay a premium for it. A lot of renters by nature are looking for the best deal for their needs. So if they're if they're just a husband and a wife, then maybe an extra bedroom is bonus, but they don't need an extra bonus plus an extra dining room plus an extra all this stuff. They just want a functional home that's affordable to them.
So what are the benefits of buying a duplex?
The couple of benefits. So it's always good to have a product mix. So you have the benefits of single family home, more for the appreciation. Maybe you get some higher rents. And then the duplex are great because you're going to get two different rents for the same property. You get two different doors for the same mortgage. And then more people can afford a duplex. So the ones we're looking at today are going to be renting out for $1,400, which is affordable for a lot more people compared to single family homes that we have that are renting out for $2,300. Obviously, a lot less people can afford something like that. And so if you're thinking about like if rents drop a little bit, if something happens with the economy, a lot more people are going to be looking for that type of cheaper property there. Also, a lot of times they tend to stay a lot longer because they're in that renter class. They're not in that owning class. Someone who can afford $2,300 a month in rent can also afford to buy a house, especially if they can save for a couple of years. The person who can only afford $1,400 in rent is likely going to be a renter for a very long time. So it's more common for a renter to stay in the property a lot longer and really even raise their family inside that household. So in this video, I wanted to share with you my family and mine's first trip traveling to the property together just before closing. We did the inspections. There were a few little things that needed to be done, but now we're at the stage where the property is basically done. In the next video, we're going to go through the numbers. We're going to go through purchase price, property management fees, all the details that you can expect with buying a property like this. To see that video, click here. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever considered purchasing properties in a secondary market like Inverness? What does your next investment look like? I want to hear all of your questions and comments below.